Bay gleaming in the distance. We are inside M&T Bank Stadium near the Inner Harbor in Baltimore, Maryland. 22 men ready to do battle. It's time to dance. And off we go from M&T Bank Stadium. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. A first carry here for Joe Mixon. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. Just like that, it's a gain of 12 and a first down on their first play. Big article in the paper this morning talking about how they wanted to get chunk plays in the run game. Well, early on, there's a good one.
There isn't for guys on defense. They've got to remember the old adage. You've got to meet force with force, and if you don't, you get run over, as they did on that last play.
Taken down at the 42. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
This is 2nd and 8. As Stroud now to throw. He'll get this into the hands of Nico Collins. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
As a passer, you're always trying to find that open window to throw the ball downfield. How about this one? Right in the middle of the field, right in the heart of a defense.
Now Stroud. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Well, they've been back on their heels a little bit here in this drive, but a chance to exhale just a little bit there with incompletion on first down. Now they have to gear up, try and get 2 more stops, and escape this drive.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Stroud. A short one going to be taken in here by Schultz. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
Again, it's Stroud. They'll set up the screen here to Mixon. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 10 yards there, good enough for a Texan first down.
And as you're game planning as a staff, you go through all the different ways you can neutralize the other guy's pass rushers. Extra linemen, leave a tight end in, bring the running backs back in to block. Or you can do this, a little simple screen pass, and it works to perfection.
Mixon with a first down carry. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, 2nd down. This defense, tough to run against. And those linebackers, they'll go side to side up the field, and there they get them for no gain.
If you can't get linemen upfield to the 2nd level to occupy them, they have a field day just running to the football and putting ball carriers on the ground. Not many yards after contact when they wrap up like that.
A short one going to be taken in here by Schultz. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5. And a good sign for them right now to have their young quarterback looking confident on the opening drive.
Now, we haven't met a young quarterback, a veteran quarterback. It doesn't matter. We haven't met a quarterback yet that doesn't tell us he's confident about his abilities, right?
That's true.
But when you're young, it's really important to get off to a good start because it does build up that confidence. It allows him to play better as the game goes on.
Especially crucial here on the road. Here's Stroud. Open man is Higgins. And he'll be stopped well short. Only 2 yards there. 4th and 3.
Receivers love having the reputation of being go-to guys on 3rd down. And he was fighting like he really wanted to have that reputation, didn't he? I mean, he came very close to making that a first down.
Broke the 1 tackle, but couldn't spring himself free. Fairbairn able to put this one through. And it's now 3-0 Texans. So the opening drive does yield points, maybe not the 7 they wanted, but they'll take the 3.
Accumulating first downs does not go up on the scoreboard, but it does go into the DNA of a team that's trying to establish itself to start a game. That has to feel pretty good for them. They'll take the 3.
Yeah, they had 3 first downs and 3 points. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Here's the former Heisman winner. It's Derrick Henry. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
From the 29, here's a 2nd and 5. Jackson. That's complete to his receiver, Bateman. Jackson to Bateman there for the Baltimore first.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain.
And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. And a nice gain of 21 yards. Well, the first drive here and the first time that we've called a big tight end's name, but I can assure you this, Charles, it won't be the last.
No, it won't, because when he gets going, now it opens up opportunities on the perimeter, because that'll draw the defense towards him in the middle of the field. Now your wide receivers will get involved as this game goes on.
And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. You know what the converse is, though? You've got to win those one-on-one blocks, and when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
Henry again on 2nd down. And that play will go nowhere, losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
1st and 2nd down were a disaster. Both went backwards. Now it's 3rd and 18. They need something big. Jackson. And this pass broken up. The contact well timed there, and now 4th down.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone, and there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. And this one goes angling out of bounds, and it will be spotted inside the 30-yard line. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. Stroud looking to throw. This one complete to Christian Kirk. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And it'll bring up a 2nd and short. Out of the shotgun, they run with Mixon. And he's swallowed up right near the line of scrimmage. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2.
What an advantage having an elite guy in the middle of the defensive line, because not only does he take up the space and let the linebackers run free, but he can also make plays himself, as we just saw there.
Motion man left is Kirk. They give to Mixon to try to pick it up. And this is not going to be enough. Was in search of 2 yards and only got halfway there.
Well, they picked up a portion of it, but not all that they needed. Now that leads to a decision on 4th and 1. Let's see what they decide to do.
Here's Tommy Townsend on to punt. This will be a 41-yard punt, 3 on the return. And the Ravens, they'll take over. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. They'll start on the ground. It's Derrick Henry. And a short pickup to about the 25.
Well, you don't turn your nose up at a gain of 4, do you? They'll take that on 1st down. Playbook's got to be pretty well open on 2nd and 6.
From the 25, here's 2nd and 6. Hopkins, the man in motion right. Play action. Now Jackson. And this throw incomplete. Well, the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to third down.
Well, anytime he reads man coverage, I don't think it's going to be the only time he'll try and hit that route to the outside in this game. He'll test the perimeter, but that time they were up to the challenge.
So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Jackson now. And this is going to be incomplete.
How about that? Red man coverage and decided to test them early, but they proved up to the task and forced the incompletion.
Fourth down, and out comes Jordan Stout here to punt. A 45-yard punt, 4 there on the return. And the Texans will take over. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
Throwing now is Stroud. Here's Higgins out on the right side. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. After the penalty, it's Mixon. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. 41 yards now on the ground on just 7 carries.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
Back to Mixon on first down. He'll get this down to the 21, just on the edge of the red zone.
Now, that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
Clock running, under a minute to go now here in a fast-moving first quarter. Stroud to throw it. Quick slant caught by Kirk. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And 3rd and 1 now.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. Texans football to start quarter 2 as they go to work on a 1st and goal. Slot man moves right. Mixon will get about halfway there as he takes this from the 4 down to the 2. He'll get 2 out of that run, and it's going to bring up a 2nd and goal.
If you're going to keep these guys out of the end zone, you've got to be able to commit to stopping the run, and that's a nice job there, getting the safeties involved in run support.
From the 2 now, 2nd and goal. Here's a run with Mixon. And he gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Houston. Joe Mixon taking it in from 2 yards out. And they are able to add on to their advantage.
Well, he'd been the workhorse on this drive, and it would have been unfair to bring someone else in to finish the job. So they go back to him again, and he delivers with a touchdown run.
Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And the lead grows to 10-0. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a first down now. Play action. It's Jackson. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
It's another zone defense. It looks like it's open for possibilities, but they did a nice job patrolling the middle of the field and forcing an incompletion.
Now a 2nd and 10. Here's Jackson to throw. Able to locate Andrews here on the out route. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
Flowers going to go in motion right. And they'll get it forward to him on the touch pass. What a great read by the secondary. They come up to stop that touch pass before it can even get back to the line. Despite the completion, they're going to wind up losing 3 there. 2nd down. The defensive coordinators love that. You got a cornerback willing to stick his nose in there, come up on run support, and stop that pop pass dead in its tracks.
And partner, one good thing about trying to defend that play, you should see it coming the whole way. You see the receiver coming in motion in your direction. Nice job eluding the blocker, making the play behind the line of scrimmage, but an even better job studying the play before you have to try and defend it in a game. Okay, he didn't break that one all the way, but you got to know that he feels like he's right on the verge, and that's probably exactly what he's telling them in the huddle right now.
3rd and 3. Now Jackson. And able to catch it on the left sideline, but they're going to rule him out of bounds. So it'll be incomplete, certainly one they'd like to have back as it brings up 4th down. Problems on 3rd down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on 3rd down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get to 3rd down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down.
Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. They'll send Kirk in motion right. Back to throw. Here's Stroud. His throw incomplete. Just his 2nd incompletion so far. He's 8 for 10. I think he'll take 80%.
There's no doubt that he will, but if you're the defensive play caller, you better circle what you just dialed up on your play sheet and come back to it because you just caused an incompletion. You need a few more of those.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Stroud out of the gun here. A short one going to be taken in here by Schultz. Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. Inside handoff to Mixon. And he'll take this one up over the 20 to the 21-yard line. Give him 4 yards there, but still in a big hole. 3rd and long.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
He finds his target. It's Schultz. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and it'll be 4th down.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because He really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days. But you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
Now it's Jackson. A slant route caught by Bateman. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Right off the bat, it's a first down to start the drive, 12 yards.
A promising sign there from an offense that hasn't done a whole lot to this point. Nice job to locate the open receiver. And it's good yardage and a first down to open the drive.
A first down carry for Henry. And he'll power ahead, but only for about 3 yards. Second down coming up.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
In motion, right goes Hopkins. Oh, and they sent the man in motion too late. This is going to be a delay. Well, everybody was up there ready at the line of scrimmage, CD, but no snap, and the delay of game ensued.
Yeah, and I'm sure their head coach is asking the exact same thing. What's going on out there? Almost like they thought they had more time than actually was on the clock.
4 yards on the pickup there, and now they're left with a 3rd and 8.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
The Ravens on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 8. Now it's Jackson. Flushed out right. He's brought down after a pickup of 5, but he needed 8. 4th down.
That was a good effort there trying to do it on his own, but as a defender, you're in a tough spot because you have coverage responsibilities behind you, and if you take off too quick to try and get him down, he might loft it over your head.
So better to track with your man defensively than try to go up and make a stop on the quarterback.
Exactly right. What you're hoping is that your guys in the front 7 can get him down.
And this is going to be ruled out, I think, just inside the 20. Yes, it will. Side judge calls it at the 19-yard line. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there was a quick 3 and out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
And oh, he coughs up the football near his own goal line. Dangerous spot for them to cough it up. Lucky to have recovered because had the defense gotten it, they were already within a shadow of the goalpost.
Yeah, and then you're yelling at your own defense. Sudden change, sudden change. That's not what you want to hear on your sideline. That means you got to run out there and try and stop an offense who has the ball in a very advantageous position.
Mixing up the middle. Able to break the tackle, but then quickly brought down just outside of the 5. They get 2 yards back, but they're going to need a lot more than that here on 3rd down.
In order to play really good run defense when you're playing a 3-4, those 3 guys up front, the nose tackle and the guys they call the defensive ends, they're usually big, big people because they're going to have to eat up a lot of blockers because it's usually 5 on 3. And when they do their job well, guys who play on the inside, those inside linebackers, they're able to just roam and hit. Well, they came up with points in their first 2 possessions, but it looks like they'll come up empty here on their 3rd drive. The defense finally starting to get locked into them a little bit. Might have to go a little bit deeper into their playbook on their next possession.
The Texans send the punter out as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. So possession goes over here on the punt. The Baltimore offense at the line set to get going. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
And the offense is saying to itself right now, if only they were all this easy because he was wide open. And once he made the catch, plenty of room to work his way downfield. That was a breakdown on the defensive side of the ball, one that they want to fix immediately.
Henry will take this into the end zone. It's a Ravens touchdown. So the toss play effective, even down here near the goal line.
Yeah, and you're hoping the defense commits too many men to stop the run in the middle of the field and that your blockers can gain a little bit of an advantage. And when they do, foot race to the pylon, and this time he had the speed to win that race.
Extra point right down the middle, and that'll cut it to 3 at 10-7. So just a 3-point game now as they send this one away. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. And these guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation.
He may be a bit undersized compared to the modern-day NFL defensive tackle, but what he lacks in size, he definitely makes up for in his ability to make tackles in the run game as well.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Texans first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
That's a play that will likely be forgotten when you talk about big moments in this game. But plays like this are critical to keep drives going. And if points result, we'll call this play significant.
Oh, the motion comes too late, and this is going to be a delay. So a little bit of a stiffer challenge now. 1st and 15 following the delay of game. Option right, here's Stroud. Only a yard on the keeper, and it'll be 2nd down.
Anytime you decide to use your quarterback as a runner, most of the time when you design a play, you're expected to break a little bit bigger than this one, because when you run him on short gains, your risk-reward and him taking hits, I'm not sure that's the payoff they were looking for.
And they'll go play action here with Stroud. He'll let this go deep for Collins. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
Early on, the running game's been working well, and the offensive line has been pleased by that. The thought process there, catch those safeties creeping up, trying to help against the running game. They tried to hit them over the top, unsuccessfully.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Stroud working out of the gun. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a 1st down.
I am willing to bet that he got a monster grin on his face when he saw what was happening. Man coverage were so committed to denying a big throw that it pulled attention away from him, and he had an easy lane to hit, and hit it he did.
And Stroud now to throw. He finds his running back, Mixon. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. A good convergence there defensively, only a yard, and it's 2nd down.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
Here now, 2nd and 9 from the 39-yard line. Now Stroud. A short one going to be taken in here by Schultz. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens' 25-yard line. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing, but as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Open man is Jordan, the tight end. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. A small bit of adversity here on what's been a strong drive as they come up 2nd and 12. Stroud. They'll set up the screen here to mix him. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. And give him 9 yards on the second down screen play.
That's a nice design there, but sometimes, though, you get so many blockers out ahead of you, they kind of slow you down and force you to adjust. You always appreciate guys trying to help you, but maybe one less there could have turned this into a bigger game.
Again, it's Stroud. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
This is certainly a team that has proven it likes to target its backs through the air and defensively. They were aware of that and certainly were prepared on that throw.
So on 4th down, Texan kicker Kaimi Fairbairn comes on. From the right hash, it's a 35-yard attempt. The kick by Fairbairn is good. And the lead stretches to 6 here. It's 13-7. Still a little bit of time left here in the second quarter, but they do get 3 before the half and expand that lead.
And they have to be happy about that, and we haven't met a team yet that doesn't put an emphasis on trying to get points on the board in the last 2 minutes of a half. They'll be real excited to have those up on the board.
A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they stop it with 19 seconds to go in half number 1. Here's Jackson. Gets this to the former Texan, DeAndre Hopkins. The Ravens going to use the second of their timeouts. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. Second and a couple. To throw is Jackson. That's complete to the Memphis man, Anthony Miller. Ravens going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half. Throwing is Jackson. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
And not a common sight, at least on this drive. A momentary setback, though, for this passing game that has been moving well this series. Good thing for them, though. Still 2 more downs to connect and try and pick up another first down.
So on 2nd down, the field goal unit is on here as they try to get 3 before half. From the right hash, this from 45 yards away. And this is right down the middle as he puts it through. And that will cut the lead back down to 3 at 13-10. So a big play before the end of the half to get him into this spot, and they cash in with 3.
How about the 1-2 to the solar plexus on that one? The big play, the field goal, not much time left on the clock. That's the way to go into the half.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
First half in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Ravens set to receive the football, trailing here as we resume action in the third quarter. And he takes this near the 25, just a little past there, call it the 26. Second half begins with a run by Henry. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
He hadn't had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. From the 34-yard line, here's 2nd down and 2. Jackson. It's Hill, complete. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. 2 yards the loss, and now they go from 2nd and 2 to a tough 3rd and 4. Boy, how good has this defense been seemingly all game long?
I really think right from the first snap, I think you're really onto something there. In this passing game, it just can't get off the ground. And that play, it wound up losing yardage.
From the gun, Jackson. He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
And so many times we look at the opening drive of the third quarter as a tone setter, and many coaches do emphasize it. And that's a strong performance there defensively to force incompletion and, more importantly, force a quick punting situation.
The Ravens send their punter out now as he's on for the 5th time here today. Fair catch called. It's taken in right at the 20-yard line. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. Stroud looking to throw. Looking for the out route here, and it's completed to Kirk. And he is out of bounds right around the 34. It's a gain of 13 for number 13, and it gives him a 1st down.
That's a pretty throw right there. That ball's in the air a long time, but it's right on the money on the right sideline. A really good route. Moving the defenders towards the middle of the field before breaking to the sideline. What a completion there. Big-time arm strength. Very nice route.
So a 1st and 5 now after the 5-yard penalty from the neutral zone infraction. Here's Stroud. And this one is going to be off the mark, too far out in front.
Well, touch and timing are critical for those types of throws. He put a lot of zip on that one. Needed just a little bit more finesse trying to get it to his back.
2nd and 5. A shotgun snap to Stroud. That's complete. It's Collins. 2nd catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down. Stroud to throw it. He'll drop this one down to Mixon. And he'll take this from 147-yard line to the other. A gain of 6. Second down and 4. Throwing now is Stroud. And his throw is incomplete. Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
Darn right. They did something to disrupt that timing.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Stroud will look to throw once more. He's got his target. That's complete. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens 30. Texans passing game in rhythm right now, picking up another first.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
Back to throw. Here's Stroud. And incomplete.
They had their backs up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple of more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
Ball on the 30 as they come up 2nd and 10. From the gun, a give to Mixon. And he's able to break out of one tackle, but then quickly brought down. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again, they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That was a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
From the gun on 3rd down, here's Stroud. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
And in a lot of ways, that catch is expected. Red zone presence, and that one was realized there. You've got to find your tight end in that situation.
They'll give it to Mixon. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. Joe Mixon, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon, as his guys are able to extend their lead. Well, he finishes off the drive with a touchdown run, Charles. Remember, he also had a catch on this drive as well.
And that's what running backs want to be in today's NFL, a complete back. 3 downs, stay on the field, run it, and catch it, and he gets it done.
Fairbairn good with the extra point, and his guys will take a 10-point lead. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. They'll start the drive with Hill. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. That tackle behind the line made by Will Anderson.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
So the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. They keep it on the ground. This time it's Henry. And he's brought down at the 24 after a gain of 4.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. They snap it at 1. Now it's Jackson. A short one there, caught by Likely. And a good job defensively. They stop him short of the 1st at the 32. That'll give him 8 that time. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
I thought maybe when he caught, he'd have a good chance of getting that 1st down, but that's a nice job of holding him up and preventing him from getting to the sticks.
The Ravens send their punter out now as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. Stroud off the play fake. A throw out wide, going to be incomplete.
So many times when we talk about coverage, we're just about a defender running with a receiver, but a big part of it is understanding where the football is, finding it. In this case, when it arrived, it wasn't a surprise, and he was able to bat it away.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. A handoff to Mixon. And he'll do a nice job here just to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a third down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
And defensively, Baltimore's in a dime look here on third. Looking to throw. Stroud. He'll try and get it on the ground. That one a broken play, but it ends up being a good play. The scramble goes for 20.
Well, he and his offense were staring down what was likely a 3-and-out. Zero fear from his side, though. Never doubted for a second they'd pick up the first. He's ready to pull the trigger on a keeper the moment it revealed itself.
Play action. Here's Stroud. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. He'll get just a yard on the scramble. It's second down.
His running ability has been an extra dimension of their game plan thus far. For once, though, he doesn't create any magic against the front that's prepared for him to try and take off.
From the 48-yard line, here's a second down and 9. And Stroud now to throw. And completes it to Kirk over the middle. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens' 42. A gain of 10 as they look to add on to this 10-point lead.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. Here's a give to Mixon. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up second and 11.
No daylight for him to run through there, and he ran into the defensive tackle, and that guy blocks a whole lot of daylight as it is. He is truly a big man.
Stroud working out of the gun. Over the middle, he gets it to Collins. That was play of the drive. And on 3rd and 5, this will be the 8th play of the drive. And they'll go play action here with Stroud. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And they move this all the way down to the 9. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. He's one of the bigger receivers in the game, CD, and his size that time certainly helped against double coverage.
Yeah, you're still at a little bit of a disadvantage when you're going against multiple defenders when they're trying to double you and sometimes triple you. But you're exactly right. With his build, he could minimize that disadvantage, and he more than held his own and hauled that one in right there.
5 yards, a good run there, and now 2nd and goal.
Hat tip to that offensive line. They're clearing some holes, even down here deep in the red zone. And that's a nice pickup on the ground on 1st and goal.
2nd and goal from inside the 5. Now they'll bring one of their tight ends in motion right. Another try for Mixon. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down.
And now 3rd and goal coming up. The loss on 2nd down. That just means this crowd's going to get even louder. And they'll get a little bit of extra help from the defenders as they exhort them to join them in the effort.
3rd and goal, Stroud. And down he goes. Pressure gets him back at the 14. Call it a big loss of 10 there. And it's going to bring up a 4th and goal.
Well, many times when you talk about mobile quarterbacks, you get the sense that they feel like they can get out of any bad situation. They keep moving around and trying to emulate guys like the Scrambler or the Dodger. Instead, they keep losing yardage and digging themselves a hole that they can't get out of.
So the lead grows here incrementally, but I think the way their defense is playing, you feel okay with just getting 3.
They've definitely been stout so far, but now that could all change because if one guy gets loose for 70 yards, this is a different game. But as it stands, field goals are good. Just keep adding to that lead.
And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They begin with Henry. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That's a gain of 13 as they try to whittle away at this 13-point deficit. 3 quarters in the books. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Baltimore. It's the Ravens with possession of the football, but trailing on the big board as we get set for the 4th. Now Jackson. A short throw caught by Andrews. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and it'll be 2nd down. 4th quarter, every drive's so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the 2nd touchdown. You've got the 1st one for the 2nd one to even matter.
Jackson now. Yet again, targeting and finding Mark Andrews. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another 1st down.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a 1st down.
So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this 2nd half. Here's 1st and 10. Flowers going to go in motion right. To throw is Jackson. It's complete to Hopkins. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. Now it's Jackson. He's got his man. It's Andrews. And Andrews going to have a Ravens 1st down as the tackle made at the 31-yard line. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play. And that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
And he can't quite bring it in. Might have heard footsteps there across the middle. 2nd down.
But plain and simple, that's the 2nd time today that he's dropped a pass.
And that one, I think, maybe even a little easier than the earlier one that he dropped. Surprising.
Was this game announced as a night game prior to, and maybe his rhythm is just off? He's got thrown off. He's going to have to wake up, enjoy the sunshine, and go play.
That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
I think as he began this throw, you saw that the area was congested, but he has a lot of confidence in his arm, and he fits that one in there nicely. They pick up the catch, not much yardage afterwards.
This offense so far on 3rd down, they're struggling. 0 for 6 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 2. They'll try to run for the 1st with Henry. And he's going to have a 1st down here as he gets this one to the 17-yard line. 43 yards rushing for him now as he's run it 11 times. Now, yes, a 2-possession game, but a good chunk of time on the clock, so they have the ability still there to run it on 2nd and short, but maybe they need to pick it up a bit.
You're right. They did pick up the 1st down there, but they, as you mentioned, they have to pick up the pace now because it's a 2-possession game. They've got to get there twice to make sure they have a chance to win.
Jackson. And that throw behind his man. He missed him. Incomplete.
Not sure what happened there, but he just didn't get the right read on the coverage that time. Pass wasn't where it needed to be, and that'll send them back to the drawing board.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Flowers going to go in motion right. Now they'll fake the jet sweep and run up the middle with Henry. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Derrick Henry with his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Ravens have made it a one-score game again here in the fourth.
You get in a second and long situation down here in the red zone, I'd say most defensive coaches would think pass, let's bring some pressure. So this is kind of a tendency breaker here to hit him with something on the ground, and he'll take it all the way into the end zone.
So here comes the kickoff, and what now is just a one-score, 6-point game. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. Their lead back down to one score after the touchdown a moment ago. First down's a must on this drive as they start out here 1st and 10. They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. Now Stroud. Got a man. It's Collins complete. It'll be a gain of 5, and it's 2nd down. Here's Stroud. And this one is incomplete.
I like his awareness in the pocket there. Nowhere to go with the football. So instead of forcing it to the sideline, he's just going to put this one into the harbor and live to fight another down without getting wet.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Stroud. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. With veteran Kyle Van Noy in there to drop him. We've seen him escape similar situations earlier in the game and get away from pretty good yardage, and that time they get him down.
Yeah, they've had enough evidence that he can get away and run for good yardage, haven't they? That time it felt like, okay, enough of this. Let's play it the right way and get him on the ground before he does any damage.
And it's fielded at the 34. And 9 yards there on the return following a punt of 47.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going.
And you sense the tide turning. They scored, then their defense forced the punt, and now a chance to ultimately take the lead here late.
2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. Moving backwards on 1st down, never a good thing. What does that do for the mindset on 2nd down?
Well, it changes your play call, definitely, because as a play call, you're advancing yourself thinking, okay, we're going to get a gain here. Now you've got to go back in reverse, come up with something to pick up not just the yardage lost, but gain a few extra.
Yeah, that's good for a gain of 6. And all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he was unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Now a 3rd and 6.
Here's Jackson. They set up the screen for Henry. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. That's going to bring up 4th down, only a gain of 2 there.
Boy, that one was well read defensively, and this is all about diagnosis as a safety and being decisive because he saw it setting up in front of him, able to knife through there and make the play.
The Ravens send their punter out now as he's on to kick it away. And he'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive.
Their defense got the stop, forced the punt, and now you really start to monitor the clock as they nurse this slim lead.
It certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
They go backwards there 2 yards, and 2nd and 1 is now 3rd and 3.
Now, obviously, that's some good work there defensively, being able to stop them and bringing up a key 3rd down. But if you're on the offensive side of the ball, there's an opportunity, because I know what defensive guys are thinking right now. Just stop them, get to the ball. That means they might not be sound defensively. There could be some opportunities.
And you said key 3rd down. Highlight that word. Put it in bold. Here we go. 86 yards rushing for him now, as he has been tremendous all day long.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a 1st down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the 1st half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
38-yard line, 2nd and 9. A shotgun snap to Stroud. Looking for the out route here, and it's completed to Kirk. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and now it's 3rd and 4. In search of 4 yards here to pick up the 1st down. Stroud to throw it. He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have a Texans 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
Mixon with a 1st down carry. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down. The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? Just give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking.
Play action. Stroud now. This one caught downfield by Higgins. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10.
I just love how they're going about trying to finish off this game. This is not an offense that's going to go into its shell. They're going to keep exploiting weaknesses where they see them. And that's a huge pickup there with the game in the balance.
Five points of contact necessary at this stage as they'll run on 1st down. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ball game. You'd have to think likely another running play coming here, 2nd and 11. He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball. And out of bounds all the way down at the 3. You can really tell right now both sides have amped up the aggressiveness. That time the offense winning the aggression battle.
And the defense was obviously aiming for the football, maybe a little bit more so than the runner himself. And that's why he was able to break through and get the gain that he did.
Stroud back to throw. Pass to the sideline and pulled in. Touchdown, Texans. Dalton Schultz from 3 yards out. And the Texans will add to their 4th quarter lead.
Well, that was absolutely ideal for them, wasn't it? Trying to salt this game away. I think one of my kids just graduated in the amount of time they had the football. That was absolutely impressive.
Everybody wants those salt away the game drives. What makes them successful?
Well, when you're able to mix run pass, when you're able to control the football and stay ahead of the chains, I'm using every cliche I know, but that's how you get it done because you're not taking negative plays, and that way you're able to run what you want to run when you get a chance to call it.
And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. They'll come up 1st and 10 here. Jackson to throw. They set up the screen to Hill.
Nice job by the defense figuring that play out and holding it to a short game, but I don't think the offense is going to be daunted. They actually accomplished their goal there. Now they've got them aware that they can throw a screen at them, maybe to slow the pass rush down a little bit, and they can throw it downfield.
Here's 2nd down. Here's Jackson. Connecting with Hill. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. The Ravens going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the 1st down. Jackson. Open man is Hill. He's got it. And right now, defensively, you love that, don't you? I mean, you'll give them that play.
And they'll take it every single time. This is almost like nickeling and diming it downfield, and too much time's going to run off the clock.
They'll come up now, 2nd and 9. Jackson. He's got Henry, and he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50.
One of my old teammates called me the other day when he was watching the game. He's like, man, trying to watch an NFL game and trying to account for their passing game, that's difficult. And just when you think you get everything covered, here comes a back out of the backfield. And in this case, he picks up a 1st down.
Now Jackson. And this is going to be hauled in by the tight end Andrews. Ravens going to use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play. This is 1st and 10. Throwing, Jackson. And this will be incomplete.
Limited time left on the clock after that incompletion, so I think both sides are going to savor every second to prepare before the next snap. Because once the ball's in motion, it may be a nonstop push to finish this drive off. Everyone better be on the same page right now because I think they're going to try and get several plays off in quick succession if they can.
Again, Jackson. That'll be caught by the big tight end Andrews.
Well, they were unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
One last shot for Jackson. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And the Ravens are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points. So Houston going to come away here with the victory. And you look back over the score sheet, interesting. A very clean game, no turnovers by either side.
An absolute rarity when we watch games now because defenses have put such an emphasis on taking the ball away. Well, what we saw here was offenses spending their time saying, look, you know they're coming for it. Ball security is paramount. So they worked on that, not just a week of practice, but I'm sure all during training camp. Make sure when you have it, tuck it away because danger lurks everywhere you turn.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. From Baltimore, so long, everybody.